When it comes to Assassin's Creed Shadows, Naomi is the master of stealth. Now, this doesn't mean Yasuke can't stealth either. I have videos of that, but today we're going to be focusing on Naomi. And we want to talk about her movement. We want to talk about her play style and give you a bunch of key tips for her specifically to help you be a better Naomi player when you go forward. First things first, she has the crazy skill tree, and I made a video breaking that down. And this is more about her movement, her combat, and things like that. We do have like a combat guide just to teach you general things, but this video is going to be specifically for Naomi. I call her Naomi, Naomi, NAOE. I love calling her Naomi, so don't judge me. But that is what it is. All right, so diving into it. First things first, she has this eagle vision. Use it. Don't be silly and think that you don't have to, like me. If you watch my Let's Play, which I have on the channel, I literally don't use it for half of the game, more than half of the game. I pretty much try to challenge myself. But it's easier to use it than not. So you're able to scan everybody, mark everybody using those two abilities, and you're good to go. So I'll recommend it as much as humanly possible. Did a little brave thing to test out something here. As you can see, like, how did he do all that? It's a setup with an ally who's able to back you up if you do get caught. It's just a fun way to play. And she has a lot of these little combination things that you can do to make your playstyle even better than what it is right now. So make sure you take the time and look into how to play with her and utilize her tactics, let's just say. Speaking of tactics, tons and tons of stuff when it comes to just general stealth. Okay, first thing I can say is running up to enemies is pretty safe if you time it well and you're not just walking right in front of them. You're going to be able to run up to them and then assassinate them, just as you see here, which makes life easier for you to keep moving and going forward, like I'm doing right now in this video. Again, this was effortlessly, not rehearsed or anything. I just ran into this base while I was recording a build video, which is going to be on the channel. Build video showcases how the kunai can one-shot most enemies, and I haven't even made it even better now, an even better version of it. This was while I was playing the story. As you can see, my running attacks are doing the job, guys. Pretty straightforward. You're capable of doing this consistently, and you won't have any problems if you just stick to the game plan, follow my tips, and understand you have to have that confidence, and you have to experiment. Don't sit here and think that you're just gonna watch my video and all of a sudden be a good player. Just get caught a bunch of times, run around and take the chance, basically. And you're gonna see that you'll end up starting to master the movement, the abilities, and the play styles that you've been wanting to do. Okay, so that's key. Another thing that I want to talk about is being able to use your parkour. This game has a very limited parkour compared to like the previous ones. As far as, you're in Japan and you're not going to sit here and do some magical, height gain abilities in this game. And there's no magical buildings that are going to just stand next to each other just so you can be able to do parkour. Like, oh, I want 10,000 buildings next to each other so I can wall off the roof. But there is really good parkour to be had and that you can learn as you go forward when you're playing this game. So don't give up on the parkour and sort through it. There's two buttons, if you guys don't know. There's the high and low. It's a system where if you're running, you're going to keep jumping and climbing if you're holding the jump button. And that's basically high profile. It's not like the old days. It's a different setup, but basically that is high profile. You hold dodge, aka the low profile. It's going to let you drop down easily and to go from there. One thing I can say is that there really isn't fall damage, so you don't need to worry too much about jumping off of ledges for the most part. You rarely are going to die. You'll get injured pretty bad, but you won't die. As you can see right there, I just jumped and showed you it is what it is. You want me to fall? You want me to die? Game? Do it. Just do it. It's possible. Again, don't get it twisted, but you'll be fine, basically, what I'm saying. And so figuring that out on your own and working on your parkour is very key as well, which we're going to go through some actual tips, and we're not going to watch this specific video anymore. And I want to show you the very cool stuff that I have in this game for parkour. So first things first, like I was telling you, if I hold X while I run, she's automatically going to be climbing, and she'll climb high. She'll vault up if she has to, wall run or anything like that. She's just going to vault up it pretty easily, and she could jump off pretty fine as well. So it's pretty nice. You just do it that way for the most part. Okay. But then if you want to be fancy and drop like that and kind of hang, you're holding the dodge button as you go up, which is going to make your life easier as well, because there are times you don't want to fall. You just want to kind of hang on the ledge, right? So getting up to the top, tapping the button, it's going to throw you down, but then you can hold it as well. And so she's pretty sick with it. And another thing is the dodge attack actually lets you do a vault over things. So for example, let's try it on this thing. She jumps over it, and then you're good to go. And now you can kind of hide away from enemies and all that stuff. This police officer bother me. Come on, samurai, let me be. So for example, if I run, do it again, we're good to go. Another pro tip, while you're doing that, you can actually use the prone at the same time. So let's say I'm running, vault. I didn't do it well there. This is a live demonstration, but go down and then you dodge. And I've been using the prone a lot. I'll roll, dodge. Okay, and then you got to practice that to time it perfectly. Might look silly at the start, but when somebody's about to see you and you do it, it makes it very, very easy to get around and maneuver certain areas. So just try it. Or reverse. When you're ducked and you're proning, you can do the dodge instead of just getting up. Do the dodge instead of getting up, and stay dodging and getting or doing that, or just run right after. So there's definitely a lot of ways to go about the movement when it comes to that playstyle. Tons and tons of fun ways to kind of experiment, let's just say, and figure out what feels best for you. Now, I want to talk about back ejects. It is a conversation starter. People are not going to like this, but it does exist. And this is probably not the best wall to showcase it. You can run off the wall and jump off from a running. I didn't do it here. This isn't the best. There it goes right there. It's not the best version we've had in these years of the game, but you can do it. Okay. And I'm about to get caught while I'm doing a live demonstration, and that's not good. But it's possible to do these things that people assume is not in the game because the game doesn't have the, oh my god, old school Assassin's Creed. But okay, I want to do my back eject, climbing on little things. So you're going to be capable of having some fancy parkour the best as possible. But remember, this is Japan and there's villages, and we're not here to talk about the design. We're here to show you what you're capable of as a shinobi. So now, roof to roof, you can jump pretty far, or you're going to drop to the floor. So this is where these roof to roofs aren't always the best for parkour. Some of them are pretty close and pretty easy. The devs try to give you a little bit of leeway, but in the end of the day, you're going to get things like this where you're dropping down. Unless you start figuring out, okay, let me go sideways. These are all connected. Now I can go through here and work my way around. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward, right? Very cool, very cool. Now, when you're on the roofs on normal, the enemies will not see you, and you're able to actually easily just escape and stay on the high ground and avoid them. You put it on expert, they're gonna see you on the roofs. They're gonna be like, hey, and they'll see you very fast. And I have a video about the stealth and stuff, but the reason I'm bringing that up is because you do want to be in the high ground if you can, and control the narrative as far as enemies spotting you. There is an L1 button for you to press to basically get to the high ground if you want. And I love to use this ability as much as possible, specifically for big heighted areas. But for small areas, sometimes it's better than when you jumping straight up. So you can use it for that as well. So it just depends on how you want to play. Okay. Now, when it comes to her movement, one thing I want to talk about is in combat. Probably going to pick a fight for 1 second here. Hopefully I don't bring the whole army with me. Let's see how this plays out. Hey, buddy, take this guy out and then just fight against him. And now she has a dodge ability that is very special. Wow, she doesn't want to get caught right now. There he goes. So she has a dodge that's very special. Okay, I can do the quick dodge like this, where I'm just kind of like rotating right and left, or I can do a deeper dodge, which is while I'm running, I could do a long dive dodge. The long dive dodge to me is the best in some scenarios when you know they're going to do a 3-hit combo that you can't escape with one dodge. Because if I just do a regular dodge like this and he does a 3-hit combo, you see there's going to be one of these guys that throw a 3-hit combo and I'm unable to dodge properly. I have to really maneuver. The way I maneuver is I run behind them to the side of them, so as they go for their second or third strikes, I'm able to dodge it as much as humanly possible. And so it just makes my life easier. But now there are times where I know for a fact I can't dodge all attacks, so I'll move away and do a fast run dodge, which gives me way more space. So it's very cool, very easy, very simple to maneuver around. And again, you're still doing the jump button as you run to kind of confuse the enemy, get some room. I'm gonna back up over here, fight this guy one-on-one, and go crazy over here and get beat up. But as you can see, I blocked his attack. And this isn't a combat guide, so we're not gonna go into detail with the combat, but the movement of it, I'm maneuvering enough to kind of make room so that I could get a one-on-one. I'm not really worried about just battling all of them at the same time. So I'll come over here, fight this guy a little bit, and then go move on from there. So that's something key to think about. And don't mind me hitting the photo mode. I guess I've been wanting to take pictures lately. Another thing is when you lock on, it's pretty cool because you could just run around people and confuse them a little bit. As you can see, I'm making it look goofy right now because they're like, what do we do? This target just doesn't stay still. So that's what I like to do if I'm in trouble. Now, I'm pretty confident against these guys. I'll just do something crazy with an ability, put in some work, and then go. See, this guy does multiple hits, and if you don't time it right, you're going to be suffering pretty badly. So just maneuver, make your room. Don't feel afraid to kind of fool with them and test their attacks and stuff like that. But that's a really cool thing to do if you really want to master the game and get good. And you should be fine. Again, it's all about having fun and enjoying your player and your play style. Nobody's perfect and nothing is perfect. Like you said, I just got caught there, but there's a bunch of outlaws. I can care less about them, but that's the principle. And then these small villages are what you're going to be getting a lot of. You're not getting some giant skyscraping things where you're going to be parkouring all over the place. You're going to get small little villages. They're semi-connected and you're good to go. And you go from there. Personally, I like doing a dodge like that. It's nice and simple. I want to talk about the fall damage and stuff like that. I personally vault down sometimes, and you're gonna get stuck like this trying to go down somewhere. They're not gonna let you. Personally, it's better to just jump, and the reason for it is, like I said, the fall damage is minimal in this game, regardless of what you think. It's pretty low, and there's skills to make it so you won't die at all if you roll at the same time. So do that, in my opinion, rather than pressing the vault down that I taught you earlier. I keep repeating that is because you're gonna see is like in the long run, there are gonna be times where you just want to jump down and get away from situations and maybe not get caught or escape something. Pretty simple. Okay, and combat, there's a lot of movement within the combat, but we have a combat guide for all those type of key things. This is strictly for movement and a little bit of parkour. You don't want to go too crazy. There's some type of advanced tips on being able to do this right here. It's pretty straightforward to explain it in detail. All you have to do is hit X and then hold X, but you have to time it well while you're doing it. I like to triple button press. So as I go, I'm up. See, so I hit it 3 times. Normally it's 2 for me, but when I first started, I was doing it 3 times because I didn't know what I was doing. So that's how I do it there. And you can do the same and use that to get around. You're not going to use it very often. It's not a key thing in this game, but it is something to think about. And again, movement, running attacks. It's very useful. Practice it, all right? Lock on to somebody, stealth attack them. You should be able to take out half of army just by doing things like this. Very quick, very simple. And if they see you, it is what it is. But I'm out of here. You can't see me. I'm busy. Right? So just keep it moving. Have fun, experiment, and leave some comments about what you've learned and what you do, what you like when it comes to the movement / parkour. I'm calling it movement / parkour because you can't just call it parkour because most of the stuff is movement based. Right? Enjoy, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Stay safe out there. Stay blessed. Peace.